Scroll down. Oh, yes, I guess because there's no picture, but they'll say something about a picture there.
Most of you I probably won't see till next year. That's okay. Most of you I won't see till next year. That's okay. Listen, I don't know how long we're going to be here this morning. I'm anticipating not long. Unless just God gets all over this thing. We do something a little different. But I've got something that I think God wants us to hear. Needs us to hear this morning. And I'm looking forward to sharing it. Because it's something that I've needed in my life, and I think you as individuals and as a church need to hear that. Now, we're going to do some old songs, and I'm going to do them fast. Does anyone have a problem with fast? Okay. I'm going to have a microphone. I got some people out here with microphones in the congregation, and they're going to come up to you when they're singing, see you not singing. They'll stick it in. Okay. No, y'all don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. But if I'm going too fast, I'll know it and I'll slow it down. Okay? But how many of you knew my mom? The way she played piano? This is the way Mama played piano. So, and she was all over the place. We learned it as a kid. But we're going to do 3 in a medley. We're going to start one, and then I'm going to stop it, and we're going to breathe. And then we're going to do 3. The 3 songs are Days of Elijah, I'll Fly Away, and then Victory in Jesus. All of them go together. So, let me know if it's too fast here or okay? Stand with me, if you will.
These are the days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days of his servant Moses, righteousness being restored. And these are the days of the trials, of land and darkness and sorrow. These are the lords in the desert crying, preparing the way of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun, and the sun is all with troubles, still to believe, now the time is salvation come.
I think I'm going too fast, aren't I? No? Well, I want you to do, we're going to play through it a little faster, but while we're doing that, I want you to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to walk with him. But I want you to have a smile on your face, a spring in your step, knowing that Jesus is coming back, and hopefully he's going to come and get you. even so, come quickly, Lord Jesus. He said, I'll come with the voice of the archangel, trumpets of God, and the blinking of an eye. Does everybody do this? 1, 2, 3, blink. That's how quick. So I'm going to do something. We're going to play through it for just a minute. And I want you to, nobody sings on the mics for a minute. I want you to kind of sing yourself. This is how fast I'm going to do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, And I wouldn't need code enforcement because if I'm on land, I'm going to make sure the houses are really nice. And the neighbors have to be a certain kind of people to get in to my neighborhood. That's what God did with glory. He's building us a mansion, a place prepared, and He picked the neighbors. And you know what? They're all going to think like us. And they're all going to be like us. Because we have one Father, one purpose, and that's to glorify the Father in heaven. So we're going to sing this last one like we're going there. and we're looking forward to the trip, okay? I heard I'll set the pace. I heard about a mansion He has built for me in glory, and I heard about a stream of gold beyond the crystal sea, about the angels singing, and the old redemption story, and some sweet day I'll sing out there a song of victory. Oh, victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. He sought me and called me with His redeeming blood. He held me there, I knew Him, and all of His doing. He plunged me into victory. He did the cleansing blood. That's good. Why don't you just go ahead and do an album recording and see if it's You guys remember 2000 when they thought the world was going to end, the computers were going to crash? How many remember that? How many prepared something for that, like it was going to happen? And people were dreading it, and we're, oh my goodness. I got up the next morning, and it just was the same. Nothing happened. But I believe in the imminent return of Jesus. That means He can come before we get out of here today. What you don't want is to see a bunch of pile of clothes, and you're standing there looking at the clothes, and everybody else is gone. You're wondering, I thought I had. But you know what? Soon, and very soon, where are you? Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. How many times about that? Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Father, we are so amazed and thankful that we get to call you Father. Thank you for being our God, for letting us be the people and sheep of your pasture. Father, we, with humble hearts and a realization that there is none greater than you, we bow before you and give back to you. Everyone here that gives, pray you bless the giver. Prove your word true in their life. That it's more blessed to give than to receive. That you multiply the blessings in their life because they've been obedient. Help us to be a cheerful people, out of a willing heart. And thanks and love for what you've done for us by giving your Son Jesus. Don't let us ever forget that, Father. Remind us constantly how blessed we are. Receive the honor and glory for this day in Jesus' name. place. How many can win first place? One. We can get participation trophies. So, in the universe, who takes first place? Who's number one? Who's at the top? So would you say to say He's your all in all? Truth is, God is in competition for a lot of things in our life. I want you to listen to this song. I just want the congregation. I don't want praise team. Don't sing on this. We're just going to sing it softly together. You are my strength when I am weak. You are the treasure that I see. You are my all in all. Seeking you as a precious jewel, Lord, to give up I be a fool. You are my all in all. Sing it. Jesus, you alone are worthy of praise, honor, glory, and honor. In Jesus' name. People say.
Take your Bibles. Turn to Ecclesiastes. Chapter 11.
Ecclesiastes chapter 11. There it is, Ecclesiastes. That's the Old Testament. Go to Proverbs and take a right. You'll find it. Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Somebody, when you get there, read verse 4. Somebody want to read that for me?
Again, I considered all travail.
Wait a minute. Ecclesiastes 11:4?
Sorry.
Ecclesiastes 11:4. Find that for me so that I'm going to read it. Ecclesiastes 11:4. Okay, Fred, I want you to read verse 1.
Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days.
Read verse 2.
Give a portion to 7, and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth.
Norm, read verse 3.
If the clouds be full of rain, they simply dampen themselves upon the earth. And if the tree fall toward the south or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be.
All right. Thank you, guys. I've entitled this message, Perfect Conditions. How many times have you waited until everything was just right in your life before you acted? You want to make sure all the stars line up. You don't want to, maybe you label it as being cautious. After all, everyone wants to avoid making mistakes, right? You don't want to make the wrong decision. Has anyone here ever made the wrong decision? Now, how many times have you been, no cares, you just made a snap decision and you regret it? Yep. How many of you have made a decision after prayer and prayer and prayer and delaying and you still got it wrong? Yeah? Okay. It's my help. The problem with all of that is that if we live like that, we never accomplish anything. If we live cautious, too cautious, we never accomplish. In fact, we miss things. Because we're waiting for just the right time. Maybe you've heard these cliches. The timing isn't right. Let's just wait until a better time. I'm waiting on God. Have you ever said that? I'm waiting on God. And God's way up there looking back and says, you're waiting on me? There are two words we'll examine as we look at this text. And they are procrastination, or three words. Procrastination, one, and good intentions is the other. As we approach a new year, both in our personal life and life of the church, we're going to deal with these two words. Procrastination and good intentions. Now I want you to look, if you would, at verse 3. I used to have a problem with this. And I just, cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. And as a kid, I did that in a creek. And I never found it, because after about 30 seconds, the bread was gone. So this didn't make any sense to me. And then it said, give a portion to 7, also to 8. For you don't know what evil will be upon the earth. So let me share with you what I believe this means. Cast your bread upon the waters. The word bread can do with seed or sowing seed. Cast your bread upon the waters. In other words, just don't let the seed sit idle. Do something with it. And if you'll do that, after many days, you're going to get a return. If you let them sit, you'll never get an increase. So what seed is precious to us? He told us that we are to go and sow seed. But how many of us in our lives have the seed and it just sits idle and never gets distributed? Let me put in practical terms of where we're at for the Great Commission. God has given you seed to plant. And we wait for just the right soil. We wait for just the right time. We wait for just the right conditions. And then we sow the seed. God never told us to wait to sow the seed. He said some fell on rocky ground, some fell on shallow ground, some fell on good ground. The job isn't for you to prepare the seed. The job isn't for you to prepare the soil. The job for you is to scatter the seed. Amen. And if we'll scatter the seed, we'll see an increase. Why is it that the church of Jesus Christ has the greatest message, the unlimited power of heaven, the resources of God Himself, and we're not winning the battle? Why is it that we've become a minority and not the majority? Go to any Christian, just about, not any Christian, you go to a lot of churches, and their pockets are full of the seed of Jesus Christ. They've got a heart, He's in them, but they don't do anything with it. Have you ever had the opportunity presented before you, and you missed a chance just to say something about Christ, to represent Him? So don't sit idle. The resources you have can't sit idle. Cast your bread upon the water. Now, distribute your resources in a variety of places. If you invest in multiple places, you'll have a better chance of multiple returns. You never know what will happen, so the more places you invest, the better chance you have of losing everything. How many are in investments? Maybe a portfolio. I got a portfolio that's this big. I can't get that small. Good to see it. Portfolio. Portfolio means that you have resources in an account and you distribute it among different funds. I don't know that much. I've got about 3. I don't even know what they mean. Somebody told me to put them in. So I've got this portfolio. If I put it in one, what happens? If that one fails, I'm messed up, right? So my financial advisor, which he didn't call me very much because I'm not very valuable to him, and I said, spread my portfolio out. He said, all $200? You want to do all of that? You have $100 in 5 things? So he goes, okay, I'll spread it out. He starts naming his stuff. But I found out the last crash that if I would have put it in one place, I would have lost everything. But I minimized the damage. Now, what do we do as a church or as a believer when we go to invest the resources that God has given us? Now, let's get away from money for a minute. Let's talk about the resources that God's given you. What has God equipped you with that you can use for His kingdom? Okay, let's talk about relationships for a minute. How many of you have relationships at work? Friends, acquaintances. Maybe people that you work with, you don't really know, you're not close to, but you interact with them every day. How many of us hang out with the same people over and over and over, and the same people hear the same thing over and over and over? Give you an illustration. Come in on Sunday morning, we all sit in the same place. Yeah? Ask somebody to sit someplace else. My dad used to get angry. He sat right here, the second pew, Rockville Missionary Baptist Church. He had to come in late one day, and there was a visitor sitting in his seat. You know what he did? No, he didn't ask him to move. We had that meeting today. He sat behind him and scowled all the time. Ever done that? Go on Sunday morning or when we have our fellowship. We sit at the same tables. We hang out with the same people. How many of us have ventured out to find somebody that hasn't heard the gospel, that hasn't seen the gospel, that hasn't had an interaction with you in a positive way? When I was a state officer in the FFA many eons ago in 1978, I made up my mind that when I became a state officer, because all the little kids in junior high looked up to the state officers, they just were in awe of this person that was a state officer. And I made sure that when I went, and I became a state officer, that when I saw a little kid sitting at a judging contest over there by himself, nobody called to him, all the popular kids went with the officers and they hung out. That was cool. I'd make my way over that one little kid, and I'd sit and talk to him. Do you know how important that was to that child? You know how hard it was for me? It wasn't hard at all. How have we ever gone out of our comfort zone with the resources God has given us and distributed in places? He promised us, don't do it in 1 or 2 places. Do it everywhere you can. And when you do that, evil's going to come. It's going to fall in some bad seed, yes. It's going to fall in some people that's not going to listen to what you're saying. But there's 1 or 2 that something's going to happen. I did something happened to me. I went to the racetrack about 6 months ago. And this guy was sitting in the truck right here. By the way, I think the end of the story is you never know who's watching. He's sitting there eating at the gas pumps. He's having a buffet at the gas pump. I pump my gas, and I walk up, and this person's coming in, and somehow I open the door, and they just push past me. I mean, I just barely get the door open, and they push. I was going to hold it anyway. They push past me, just walk right on in. Just push past me. I mean, I barely had a crack. And they just push right in. I said, "You're welcome." And I just said, "You're welcome." And then when they came out, I held the door for them. I waited till they come out, I held the door for them. They never said a word. I went out to the gas pumps, and the dude was having a feast. He said, "I saw what you did." He said, "That's pretty amazing." Perfect chance to tell them Jesus is my Lord. I did that because God is in me. I said, "You know what I did?" Very spiritual thing. I said, "Let's see if I was going to go over that guy again." I didn't say that. But I said, "No, yeah." I said, "Some people are like that." But had I taken the chance to have the seed that God's given me and distribute that name, I already had the platform. Are we looking for those opportunities to share it? This gets worse before it gets better, right? Now, let's put it in perspective. God has given you resources to use for His glory. If we only receive from the Lord and never distribute from the Lord, we're never going to see a return of value, right? If we always give, never give, God's not going to give anymore because we're not using the resources. Sounds a lot like the servants who were given multiple resources and some invested and some didn't. Which one are we? All right, let's put it to the church. Why would the God of heaven give resources to a church for the church to put them on a trophy shelf? Let me identify some resources. People are resources. Now, listen to me carefully. I want you to follow with me. People are resources. When people join this body, it's the same thing as God adding them to the body. Would you agree? Is anybody more important than anybody else in the body? There's one head, that's Lord, and we're all members of His body, each one having a place in the body. So, if God gives us this kind of resources with a specific talent and a gift, are we obligated to use it? Yes? Now, how many people do you know? I'll give you a perfect illustration. Vic and I, after CJ left, we didn't have a bass player anymore. Vic and I said, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" "Well, we're good with you, but I don't know the rest." We didn't know we had a resource sitting in the congregation that would take us. Didn't know. What would happen if we get these resources and we don't use them? What's God going to do? Eventually, God's not going to stir their heart to be a part of the congregation. He's going to move them to a place He needs them. Understanding that God gives resources. So when God puts a talent in the church, He puts it there for a reason. What we have to stop doing is building ministries and plugging people in. What we need to find is people that are talented and gifted and build ministries around their giftedness that God's given to us, to use. God will take... You want to know why church memberships fluctuate? You want to know why they go up and they go down, they go up and they go down. Why do people go to this church, and then they go to this church, and then go to this church, and they go to this church? Can somebody give me a reason why? I'll tell you why. The reason good people don't stay gifted, God-fearing, Jesus-loving people don't stay in a congregation much is because they want to be used, and if they're not able to be used, God stirs in their heart. He'll use them somewhere else. And you know what happens? The faithful that's been here for years and years and years and years and years and years, they have to keep doing it over and over and over again, and they get burnt out. Because they have to keep carrying the load, keep carrying the load, keep carrying the load. Money's a resource. Here's what caution should be used. Money should be used for the kingdom and not squandered in the name of the kingdom. Just consider the cost before building anything and make sure we have enough to finish. But listen to this. But as God's people, we should find the mind of God and do the will of God for the glory of God. Let me say that again. We should find the mind of God to do the will of God for the glory of God. And once we do this, God will provide even more. I try to think of an illustration like this. And I can think of one. My granddaddy Tanner was a hard man. And all us little rugrat Tanners, there's 9 cousins that lived on the 100 acres. And Granddaddy kept candy because he was diabetic. So he kept candy in his jar. And if he had a problem with diabetes, he'd eat a piece of candy. So what we would do is we'd go in there and he'd say, you can grab a piece of candy. Back in line. Or you do it when Granddaddy can't tell there's 2 hands in the jar. You know what I was doing is I was taking the candy and I was hoarding it. I was putting it in my pocket and I was doing something I should have been doing with the resources that he'd given. I want you to think about something for a minute. If God, because here's with Granddaddy, if I would have taken and asked Granddaddy for another one, he would have given me another one after I used the one I had. You know what he did when he found out I had 4 or 5 in my pocket? He forbid me from going in the candy jar. In fact, I had to give it all back because I was hoarding it. Churches, how many of you want to see the unlimited resources of God in your life and in the life of the church? How many of you want to see the windows open up and God being who He really is? You want that? Let me tell you how to do it. When God gives you something, go ahead and use it, and He'll replace it. But you know how He replaces it? He takes and He says, whatever measure you need, it'll be measured back to you. But if you give, He'll give back, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. In fact, He'll give such as you can't even continue to receive. So what we do is we use it sparingly. We use it. And then again, this is not being cautious. We need to be cautious in our resources. But God said, trust me, and when that runs out, I'll give you more. That takes something. It takes a thing called faith. And I just don't know if I'm comfortable with that. But if we'll do that, you're going to see God increase that. Now, third resource we have are buildings. Even the temple in ancient Israel was inhabited by the Levitical priests on a constant daily basis. Next year, this coming year, we should find every opportunity to use the resources for the glory of God. Agree? Would you agree that the resources are His and that we should use it for every opportunity to do what? To do what? What's our number one priority? Come on, church. What's our number one priority? Lead others to Jesus, the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, to spread the good news, the death, burial, and resurrection. Men are sinners. They need a Redeemer, and He's the only one that can wash away their sins and give them a hope of heaven. That's our job. Amen. And that's why He gives us resources. So next year, we should find every opportunity. Let me give you an example. During the live nativity, I had a mother approach me outside, and she's a member of a thing called MOPS. Have you ever heard of MOPS? MOPS. You know what it is? Anybody can say it? Mothers of preschoolers. Listen to this. Here at MOPS, we gather and support moms. We believe in the simple but revolutionary idea that remarkable things happen when moms come together face to face. That's why we rally women to come together in their own neighborhoods and help each other through this thing called motherhood, one gathering at a time. Our acronym MOM stands for Mothers of Preschoolers because we began in 1973 when a group of moms of young children banded together to share their lives and parenting journeys in the name of Christ. Over the past 45 years, MOPS has expanded our reach to include moms with older kids, partnering with churches and organizations worldwide to equip and encourage moms in more than 60 countries. I didn't even know the thing existed, and it's in 60 countries. And she said this. She said, Pastor, can I talk to you? She lives in the neighborhood, right down in Scandia and Cypress Street. And she said, can I talk to you for a minute? And I know them because he's the public information officer for the Haines City Police Department. And they were at live nativity several nights. And they brought families out of MOPS to our live nativity. And she said, we have a problem with our moms. The first one, just go to Walmart and buy another one. No. And she was explaining what moms was. I asked somebody that and they said, oh, it's a group of people. It's talking about people that clean floors. No, it's not that. She said, the church that we've been meeting at is kind of getting tired of us, and they don't want us anymore at their church. Okay. I said, what do you do? She said, well, we share devotion, we get together with moms, we do crafts, our kids get together, and we encourage one another in the Lord. Study around the gospel. Okay. How many? She said, 20 to 30 ladies, and all their kids. Wow, okay. How often do you need it? We need it 2 days a week. No, 2 days a month. On a Monday morning for 4 hours. 8:30, 11 to 12, something like that. I said, okay. So, how much does it cost? Oh, that's the hard part. She said the church is going to have to pay $275 a year to have a Moss chapter. I said, wait a minute. I took a deep breath and I said, let me get this straight. You want us to pay $275 and give you our empty building 2 days a month so 30 moms can bring their kids to our facility and talk about Jesus, and you're wanting us to pay $275 a year? She said, sounds great. What's the drawback? She said, really? So let me put it to the church. Church, what do you think?
Yes.
Imagine God sending 20 to 30 families to use our facility twice a week, and it's $275, and they'll even clean up. That's using our resources. There's another one. When was this church school built? 1927? When was this church started? 1927? How many of you remember when they shut that place down, that school down? Did we ever think it would open back up? Because they got half of the school down here, Davenport School of the Arts, and moved. And we gave up even that hard-headed commission. Didn't want to close the street, but God closed the street. And they're opening a school right back up. It's got the same name as God. And you know what they're going to do with that school? They're going to fill it with a bunch of kids. And they're going to fill it with families from the surrounding area. And you know what's attached to kids? Parents. And you know what parents have? Hearts and lives that need to be touched. And little children, see, I can go to their door, but they don't want to let me in right here. And they might listen to me talk to them. But little Johnny, if we get a chance, we're going to tell little Johnny about Jesus. And you know what little Johnny's going to do? He's going to draw this picture. You don't know what it is, but he's going to draw it. And then he's going to go to Mommy and Daddy and say, look what I did. And it's 3 sticks and a person. Looks like a person. What's that, little Johnny? That's Jesus. And that's the crosses. I was invited to a church. Can you come? Because Miss Nancy, she talked to she was at my school today. And she talked to me about it. She asked, can we go? Can we go? Can we go? Well, Daddy's going to, Mom's going to say no. They're going to come, and guess what we got to do? I'm going to tell you something else. There's a world out there that's hurt. They have no answer. They need truth. And there's only one place that has it, and that's us. We have the truth, but we can't hide it. We've got to share it. And every opportunity, they're going to be seeking those, and we're going to be ready for it. What do you think about that? School. Mission field? Absolutely. After school programs, tutoring programs, community service. Use everything we can because the time is near. Soon and very soon we're going to see the King. The King's coming to get us, and we don't want to leave anybody behind. Do you agree with that?
Amen.
Yeah. Now verse 4, and I'm going to close with this. Yep, I'm going to have to close with this. He that observes the wind shall not sow, and he that regards the clouds shall not reap. Farmers who wait for perfect weather will never plant. If they watch every cloud, will never harvest. 2 words: procrastination, putting something off that could and should be done now. Good intentions to do something, but we allow laziness or fear to cause us to wait. There's a difference between procrastination and good intentions. We know that Jesus came in the fullness of time, just the right time. But do you know that God didn't wait until Jesus came to start the process? That He began it long before Jesus ever came. We must always be looking for opportunities for what God has called us to do and not wait for the perfect scenario. Let me put it in perspective. God's given us and you resources for His glory. Right? If we never use them for the Lord, if we only receive from the Lord, never distribute it, we'll never see a return. Right? Okay. When we're talking about, I lost my place because this is really important. When we're talking about resources, I want you to think about this. People, when they're wanting to do something, especially in Christianity, they want to find the peace of God before we proceed with anything, right? If there's no peace, there's not that leadership of the Lord. How do I know that what I'm wanting to do is what God wants me to do? Well, I look for the peace of God. What if I don't get that peace? We've got to learn to differentiate between peace and our own feelings. Let me give you some examples of things that it's always right to do, and we don't ever have to wait for God to do it, to tell us to do it. You say, well, I'm going to wait for the perfect time. I'm going to wait till the stars align. I'm going to wait till that God tells me to do it. And when God tells me to do it, then I'll do it. He hasn't put that on my heart. It's always the right time to love each other. You never have to wait for permission to do that. God says to love each other. It's always the right time to share our faith, isn't it? Is there ever a time we have to wait? Well, I'm waiting for God to lay it on my heart. Let me ask you this. Has God already spoken through His Word? Is that just as much as Him saying it? Or do we have to wait for God to give me a feeling before I'm obedient to this? How many of you have ever been obedient to the Lord and didn't feel like doing it, but you did it anyway? Just because He said it. Illustration. Many times, my dad told me to do something. You know why I did it? Because he was Dad. Not because I wanted to. I did it because He's Dad. So there's always a right time to share our faith. It's always the right time to be reconciled to someone. Always the right time to be peacemaker. And always a right time to honor God. You see, if the farmer waits for everything to be perfect, there will never be any planting and never be a harvest. He has good intentions to plant. He wants to be careful so he doesn't waste seed. He wants to make sure the seed germinates and produces. But if he waits for everything to be perfect, then nothing will get accomplished. We cannot, I close with this, we cannot this year, in 2020, allow procrastination and good intentions from stopping us to do what God's called us to do. I look at our world, and I see places crumbling. And I thought, what can I do to prepare for this crumbling world? What can I do if everything falls apart? And I'm almost running some scenarios for you. What do I do if they impeach the president? If they really do? What do I do if Iran gets nuclear weapons? What do I do if they outlaw my faith? What if they make it illegal for me to share Jesus? What if they shut down churches and they tell me I can only go into these circumstances? What do I do? You know what I do? I get ready now. And if I do it now, I'll do it then. What can I do to prepare? I can just give my life to Christ 100% totally. We don't use the excuse that we're waiting for God to lay it on our heart. He's always already commanded us in His Word. And He's given you the example of Jesus. We don't use the excuse that we're waiting for the church to organize something. It's not the pastor's job to give you assignments. It isn't the job of the church to sanction special events so you have the chance to serve. Just serve. Every day, serve the King. And don't wait for all the stars to align and get gory goosebumps to know that He's God. Him that knows to do good does it not. To him it's sin. I'm not going to have an invitation. I'm just going to have you evaluate for just a moment. I've gone a long way around to get right here. I'll give you this illustration. That book will represent the will of God in your life and mine. It's a simple 2 steps from me and you to the will of God. Right in front of us. All we have to do is acknowledge it and do His will. Here's what we do. We find everything, we try to figure it out. So to get to the will of God, here's what we do. We start walking in the direction we think He wants us to go. And we're going toward the will of God. We're going all these different ways. Ups and downs and all around. And finally, we wind up at the will of God. Wow, that was tough. Look what I had to go through to find the will of God. If you have a Bible in your hand, I want you to hold it up. Hold it up. If you have an electronic version, hold it up. You want to know the will of God? It's right there in your hand. Find what He says to do. Just do it. Just with reckless abandonment. Find out what the Father wants and just be obedient. Just get down there in the dirt and find what He's cast the seed. Use your gifts and your talents. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Be the leader. Be the example. Get somebody else to follow you. Just do it. Watch what will happen. I'll tell you what's going to happen if you don't. He's going to take away the resources He's given you. He's going to give you somebody who can do it. Because His will is going to be done. If you wait, the farmer waits for everything to be perfect. There will never be any planting, and there will never be any harvest. Every head bowed, every eye closed. I'm going to dismiss in prayer right now, but I want to challenge you for something, church. And I'm going to be the leader in this thing. I know He has an assignment for me. Assignments. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. There's things that I should be doing myself, and I'm waiting for the right time. Now is the time. Today is the accepted day. I want you to think this moment. We're silent. And I want you to ask God this question. What would you have me do? What's the first thing that came to your mind? You do it. Father, we give you this time together. We give you the future First Baptist Church of Davenport. We give you the city of Davenport. We give to you all the new souls that are moving into this place. We give you our resources. We give you our allegiance. All we ask in return is to increase our faith that we can trust you more. And the wisdom to know what you want, when you want, how you want it, and to react quickly to your glory. Father, I pray that everything we say and everything that we do will only have one purpose. And that's to glorify the Lord Jesus Christ. So have your way in our life, in our family's life, in this church life. And we make sure we do good with it. That's all people say. Amen.
I'm doing